Kenyan ta kondi hiba nontare dombiche druba lechon drutur toches ta drutur ge to Kenyan ta rumbache re kamalan bara ti tobrason here te indinga yon shale kebochel ne tensene jonge jesante ma sure.
As we have gone through before, that as one to carry through all this supreme dharma practice, then the manner of the practice is more important than the practice itself. So as in general, holiness and Khenpos and other teachers constantly giving all this, teaching, but taking it more important as the instruction, then I thought to still continue some explanation.
Chi huna ronggenyo su lena talamani anchinda nao te jongi jesung giti sanani ta sonji ji khobon thoje gi juma narwa ta tema imba jongi jesung giti mazen ba ji nani ta rongge kunlong ge che sangyo na ti phayan sama to
all this practice, even we just chant one single Om Mani Padme Hum, if it is influenced by that the preparation, actual, and then the conclusion in relation with the bodhichitta and so forth, then that will naturally become cause to attain enlightenment. Otherwise, any sort of other practice, if it is not influenced or not mingled with the the preparation, actual, and the conclusion, then depending upon one's own intention, of course there is some benefit, but not necessarily it will become cause to liberation.
Zora sense tamba keni honi kyojutere. Nankhe kacha ge senjen thanche. Pama majeba chichon yo mare lenchi tamayin pa lentong tumamu bashayore. Te tabu ke pama tele te trin chembaji mato trin membaji pama te me tha chabare. Te indi pama senjen thanche ji dandu ta tele trinlen te bishirdu tene thatu sonje ji kobhon lingonde ke sambate karcheware.
So that the preparation, actual conclusion, the preparation or that the first intention, it is based on that generating the bodhichitta, that where one think of that all the apparently sentient beings equal to the space, that not just only one time that these beings are one's parent, but many lifetimes. So as these sentient beings, when they are as one's parent, of course they are always very kind and affectionate to oneself, and there is mostly there is none of parent who is not kind, and for that way just we think to repay back the kindness of all these parently sentient beings, and among them the best way to repay back the kindness or that feeling the grateful to them is if we could lead them to enlightenment.
Tangi jimime sana ta rad sona trikatongke yo ma lang saja chembunre butoba chembo sere teden sum kongrungi tawayana ta ngi jimime teni don dembare.
So then the actual, that non-conceptual or without any imagination, which means that the best way is as one receive all this the actual meditation instruction as like the ground path and the fruition great perfection, and if one could really experience that, then that is the just actual non-conceptual meditation.
Ta temena tan rimboji khena ta chika matona te kamura They may not that chetanji, Jumamalon tab higgy, course me miss. Penna Tangaran DJ Jigawa shout at you, Tenikova Sejulas of Shandolas of Parchevade, Tan DJ Jigawa Sena, Penna Geva Dunkeron, Geva Dujugi, Geva, Tenishatana, Shatsaki, Yur, Shausandona, Shausandosa, Mendra Puna, Mendra Busaji, Yurt, Tele, Hamba Mepa, Zamba Mepa. Tandraji Zumamalan Tabu Yin now take a culture here.
Then the middle way of non-conceptual or without any imagination is that, just if one have not received any instruction, then of course there is nothing. But as one received the, instruction, then try to experience and try to understand that everything is like a, magical illusion. So, which is explains that that non-conceptuality of the three spheres. For instance, just when we do prostration, then the object of the prostration, and then the prostration activity itself, and then oneself who is doing the prostration. Those three spheres, without any sort of grasping or clinging on it, and doing that kind of practice, similar like taking refuge, or even we do circumambulation, or just making mandala offerings, or whatever sorts of these just virtuous activity, which is called compounded virtuous activity. So for that, whatever we do, without having the concept of the just three spheres, subject, object, and then the action, and that way it also can be understood as non-conceptual practice.
Teo manjona ta chidrikhe tele mipa tele tesor mipa la chila sembi kachen la chitarta yimichoro se te mipa kaimi remi khone chidrikhe la ti tan tele sanlo tong yin tende sena ngi kimi meji ko chos chiresena mipa lan tene se mipa da radshes.
Then even one could not have such a kind of maintenance of practice, but still, then whatever sort of practice we are doing, if our mind is fully concentrated, that if one's mind is concentrated on that meaning of that practice, and not getting distracted and not wandering oneself into the thoughts, then that also just can be understood as non-conceptual practice, through which one can have the actual benefit out of that. So that the actual non-conceptual practice, in relation with that, the best is if one could have the realization of the view, and then the second, if one could understand everything as magical illusion. The third, just one's mind fully concentrated on that, the practice, whatever oneself is doing.
Jeresena tapena gewa chidro tunyi rintung katsejina tamani pena manendro jinda tenko chizenda taka hi jindong jindro giri chaji tungi di chen 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 jina har ka lomendro ne tombon hoa rese gihiares.
So then the conclusion, or in the end, what it is known as the dedication. So whatever sorts of virtuous activity we are just doing, so within that one session, for instance, if you are accumulating Om Mani Padme Hum about one round mala, then just instantly one may thought, oh, I need to go for restroom, or I want to just get for some water. Then don't just stand up like that and just go away. At least you try to dedicate the merit.
Tang hoa la mulu zong yen yore. Hoa la du jen do du me nis. Ta du jen se na ta chen de le jitan da zang le mi ne. Tele pena gewa chi dru te ke ta nga ne me ge zang. Dan me ge ji sho do tan do do nan ji sho lim ha ge kong ho ji go ne hoa she ga na te du jen re do yore. Te ke chen de le pemba zang hong sin na ma tu pemba chi wa ma.
Then this dedication also have one, in a way, this two kind of way of dedicating. One may be known as like a poisonous, and one, in a way, kind of without any poison, means that, one thing that whatever that virtuous activity one do, and if one dedicate for the, just kind of, happiness of this life, or for to clear out one's, sickness. So in a way, what it is called, just to get some protection for this, present life and for this, present welfare, then of course there may be some benefit, but still it is not the best way of, dedicating.
Tang hoa tu me la yang, ceni ba do jintu ba ni yore. Ta ceni ba ngama ne ta ye tsi sba je na te pha chu chi ge ma re ta tsi simbi ge wa ti na yo re du yore. Hoa se na te re, te de ngi ji mi me se na te re. Ta jintu ba le cha ya na, ta rong le ta wa me na wo, song je song chu san ba na ke jin de xin he yo na, di je su lo ne. Ta tong shen ne, te dong tenpa rongi chong, ta ta ji gewa ting ho trench teres.
So then, non-poisonous or the, kind of proper way of dedicating the merit also have two kinds. That one is kind of, the actual or kind of, the qualified way of, dedicating the merit, and one is kind of, just similar to it. So the actual is that if oneself involved with the, view similar like that of the non-conceptual kind of, practice, then of course that itself is the, just the right way of, dedicating merit, and also it is the view. Then the second, what it is called, just similar to it or in accordance with it, and that, for instance, like whatever kind of merit we accumulate or do any kind of virtuous activity, then we dedicate the same like in the past, how all these Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, how they have dedicated, similar like that if we do the dedication, then also one can get the benefit.
Tang hoju gewa lao tata, tang ngaran tata chidre na ta te ke matsare, te ker mayimba. Jawa sedo chepa ki, Swami ki gewa chi na te madu. Senjen thonje ji gewa thonje yardu. Rong ti senje gewa thonje tsul lo lo shene ta. Tena thonje gewa thon ti sende sa bi gewa thonje chi de ne te senjen thonje le ngos tengres.
So then the actual virtue, what we are dedicating, then that virtue is, of course, the mainly whatever that merit we have accumulated at this time or in the present. Not just only that, we can also dedicate all the merits that which is accumulated by all the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, those merit or virtue which is known as undefiled, and then also all sorts of merits and virtues that which is accumulated by all other sentient beings, and also that one's own past, present, future times that merit and virtue, that all condensed together, and then one can dedicate for to all sentient beings.
Ngosa ge yur pama senchen thanje le ngone chi shil ngo grisena Ta senjen tanjero ye senjen tanje neka thuri enten do den. Tene na tsen de pema ta de dewa chenji hinghan le she. De she ne ta thatu sonji ji ko phon le phama senjen tanjero ye tanje shamji de dewa sonji ji ko phon thobra kyu dei chedu mod ta tendre ji miracle grace.
Then the object where we dedicate all this merit or virtue is, of course, all the apparently sentient beings, and how or which way we dedicate is that just for temporarily that all these apparently beings that they could obtain the 7 qualities of the upper realm, and then the moment when just any of these beings they just experience their death, and then their consciousness may transfer to just in general in Buddha fields or Amitabha Buddha Pure Land, and then at the end just all these sentient beings ultimately they could attain that complete enlightenment. In that way we have to just dedicate the merit.
Manghona tene gewa te sebi drakiyore. Jeresena gewa manghona says, shatung gewa le seze giju yer. Gewa te manghona sebi drakiyore kone kondu pekiyamar. Contractiona mangho yendo shonju ge senji tsima zingi gimime tsima zimbi sacheji gewa te contrachi shena karba tongtrachi ki gewa yana. Takon le meche patab tidre here, tere contract here, niche. Jopa shena te gewa te sendo here, ta gewa den josene yohin amare te pejigana, josemte, tang narole como chichi chachi. Terenchi sound di tamame chichi chagana terenge chen. Ta teren mame chichi chachi. Sony said, O Katsun chichi de mame machena tere te chete di shejos akaka tensare, tenjotar. Katsun ji como cho hyatsare, gewa hyatsare, toma hyatsare, penanjaba sejuli, toshi sheyama jena. Joba devo kanishe hiyo hako mari, tekene tan joba ke sendo hiare, sanchi. Tene, o gewa manghena sere, joba shena sere, kontra shena sere, ngombo jena sere. Ngombo je sene tan ko senjen tan pen to bishi, hoa shenge gewa dre chol ngo sena te se mari, ya pedere te inao, ngongo shene. O ta kakidi pejili kana, ta ngasa pene pejigana mejikena ta tingo sayora pamandijikena chichi tongo cheboji shen tane gewa tramo shena mete devin hasu ngotsa moyore pujino ke gewa shema ti se un tene tene gewa chi drochachi drotsare thoma ngen kahinda e maninda lama kahidende shi kahimani pui sen ngombo joto do ku gewa te ngongo shetsare te setsare Take gets a mangona, then it gets a sabi jig, then it gave at the sabi here. Motana, then said Chimere.
So then, in case if we don't dedicate the merit, then of course the virtues or merit can be exhausted. Basically, there is 4 kinds that if we don't dedicate the merit, it will just exhaust. And when we have so much anger, also it will get exhaust. And then if we regret over the just virtue, also it get exhausted. And then the 4th one is that even we just do all these virtues, but kind of show off, that will also just exhaust. So that for instance, any merit we have accumulated and we don't dedicate, then of course it doesn't just develop, and then it kind of somehow naturally get exhausted. And then the second thing even we have just accumulated a great deal of merit, even like, kind of eons, but then suddenly if kind of very strong anger or hatred arise, and that which kind of, exhausts all the merit, just completely. And then if we kind of regret, for instance, if we have like, 10,000 just dollars, and then one thing, or just it is good to accumulate merit by making lamp offerings, and then one make a lamp offering, and then the next day how possibly one can regret is, and then think, oh, I should not have just done that yesterday. If just if I could do today, that I can just do maybe just better way, and that way just when we regret what one have done, that kind of offering, then that all just exhaust that the $10,000 or whatever, just that kind of butter lamp offering, everything exhausted. So that is why one have to examine how possible that kind of regret, kind of remorse possible can be arise within oneself. That also just exhaust. And then the fourth one, when we do some kind of meritorious activity, then kind of show off. For instance, like just in Tibet, for within kind of example, that if somebody just dies from one family, and then naturally they just do lots of kind of pujas, and then lots of offering, and then just thinking, oh, if I don't do all those, I just be kind of embarrassing, it is not good, and that way one started doing all those kind of offering and puja and so forth, and then later one just explain to other people, oh, just when somebody died in my family, then I did this kind of puja, this kind of offering, I offer such and such money to this and that. In that way, when one just make kind of show off, that also exhausts the kind of merit. So that way one have to just know how we should dedicate and how should not that waste that merit.
Kasing hoa shepi penya le chagana ta gewa te seju me se pitet don rahis gewa ja chunjun jena gewa ja chembolin jorros tene gewa ngengen jisena ta dobod je me na jongi jisen ke tisen hoa shena gewa zombolin jorros one ten hoa me se terin te pe don ju ji chen yin so.
So now the benefit of making the dedication, doing the dedication. So dedicating the merit or virtue is like a kind of treasure. It is just because it can become like a just inexhaustible. Even one have a kind of just tiny merit, but still when it is been dedicated, it can just multiply, and then even it is kind of very just kind of very ordinary virtue or merit, but if it is influenced by those that activity, that kind of preparation, and then the actual like non-conceptual, and then at the end dedication, these three kind of supreme thoughts, when it is involved, then again that just help to increase that merit. So that is why it is like the treasure.
Tando dona Zora Sensei Tamba, Nijimi Me Tamba, Jing Hoa Tambas, Chi Jidron Zonte, take a Tisanatin, Teba Chambo, Gichi, Tatu Sonji Jikopong, Todzegi, Yoti, Chu Me Tacha, Kiron Tito, Jumba Kori, Chi Niana Kori, Druna Kori, Goashana, Shawatana, Manitachima Mandana, Tejong, Jason Don, and Dharmaris.
So, however, in a just condensed way, then it is always important to influence with the just this supreme intention, then the supreme the non-conceptual, that way of understanding, and then the supreme kind of, dedication. Whatever sort of, kind of dharma practice one may do, it should always, influenced by that. Then that merit or virtue naturally become the kind of, the Mahayana, kind of real practice, and also that will become cause to, attain, enlightenment. And if we have these three, just supreme thoughts, then, whatever kind of, virtue we accumulate, like even circumambulating or, chanting on the Om Mani Padme Hum even one time, just however, when it has been influenced by these three, then, that will just become cause to, cause to liberate.
Kurgesana lung cheese, talon to Tambinima Kunira, Abalung Chig, Coli Jongi Jason Chi Sonta, Chuncho, Nelsland, Yetachil, Jongi Jason Maki, Yachra Chi Tomanu, Techuncho, Nelsland, Rona, Duna, Chishena, Techuncho in Seni Hundred. There's a cutie ten Londurumba check, Shala Shivaniga, 2G Marchum, Monsar Chambore Sonta.
So here is kind of like a story or some, just things, kind of like a history or a story that, in relation with my life, I want to just, share. That Lungdo Rinpoche, from whom I received all this, teaching, and then his teacher, the previous one, Lungdo Tembe Nima, and then, just he's also a very great master. So one time, just this Lungdo went to his, teacher, and then he said, just he didn't kind of, just receive much, other many just teaching. Anyhow, that, he wished to have some, just teaching. So at that point, then, Lungdo Rinpoche that, taught that this Chorwa, which is that, the intention, and then the Ngwishi, which is the, kind of non-conceptual, understanding, and then the which is the dedication. So these, three supreme thoughts. And then he said, just only you concentrate into these three, supreme thoughts, whether you are sitting or, walking or doing any sort of, just kind of, just activity, and that will just, that will just bring you great deal of benefit. And then, as Lungdo Rinpoche did this practice, and then, later he realized, oh, this is, very profound. And that way, then, he put his hand on his crown with the kind of, folded hand, and then say, oh, just, kind of, it is, please kindly hold in your, heart. In that way, that there is the just, that benefit.
Dampa Sanjino Mandi Pichea, Chitong Dampa Sanjino Donandi Soyer. Tere Chidu Hena, Cherisena, Joa Sense Dambado, Jinghua Tambanine, Sonan Jitores. Nigimi me Tambati Higitsoyins. Sonando ye Higitsosana, Tatu Kunikov Tozegi, Nijitum Maiba Yins. Then Chidu Hena, you come with Hiamare. Te lami mengali tu hinyore, te indingeta tambasen do dikajite.
So, if one know how to do the dharma practice, then of course it is also just somehow easier. So that basically these three supreme thoughts that the in the kind of preparation, which is your kind of intention of generating bodhicitta, then the actual where you try to realize and understand everything as just emptiness nature with the illusory appearance, and then at the end the dedication. So within that all sorts of accumulations of merit and wisdoms are condensed for. So the intention of generating bodhicitta, and then the last one, that dedication, that which helps to accumulate merit, and then the actual, the kind of non-conceptual practice of emptiness and appearance, that which accumulates the wisdom. And when we have the accumulations of these two, merit and wisdom, then we have the complete cause and condition to attain enlightenment. So that is what this just all the masters kind of instruction.
Oh, tere tene ngara na thoma trong rumba che ge loma imba lan randa re. Te indi ti no ne phache nge ge hi na chi ke lo chi hi na chi. Tene nga chune zong te tene lama ge hi ne tenyi da damba mumbu nda ne na chu se chen ri che mumbu te re. Yena nyang len ka wa hi yo ma re. Jiten chi je ge la ka shen gamba ge khutong ku shen don du bi hi re. Nyang se len lo che ma re. Ka chu do ka o chong ma he mi he. Oh, tere te na da nge chung che le chung che ki. Tu na san de ka je si san de re ki jo. Tene te me mo ba ki jo me tu ji che.
So then of course all are just this His Holiness disciple. So the Rinpoche, he himself been in his childhood, when he's very young, spend time together and receiving all those teaching, and somehow he himself become very fortunate receiving just all these instructions and dharma, but I didn't have enough time to do all this practice. However, because of this dharma activity, there are lots of activity that has been to be done, and according to that just that it become busy, but still these are the kind of practice that heart essence teaching that we could carry through practice. So other than that, I have nothing more to just say. So thank you all.